Feeling acutely depressed, anxious, having suicidal thoughts, it never gets normal. It doesn't matter how many times you go back to that sort of thing, to that sort of mishap in your brain chemistry. It never feels normal. It's one of those things I've always been acutely aware of, that when it starts to shift, when things start to turn bad, I know. I never have to wonder. I'm certain that I'm experiencing familiar depressive symptoms. So I've sort of relapsed into that, and that's what this video is about. Been feeling really depressed, really obsessed, and had a lot of anxiety these past 3.5 weeks. So I have a rule that if I have symptoms of depression and anxiety, or depersonalization, panic, stuff like that, if it lasts more than 2 or 3 weeks, I'll talk about it. But I always want to try not to use this platform as a means of complaining, or certainly not as one of those things that makes anyone think I'm doing this for sympathy. I'm not. That as someone who suffered from depression and anxiety, occasionally I take really hard steps back. That's what this is. And I want to share about it briefly in case it might be of some value to someone else. And 3.5 weeks ago, I shifted. And this has happened to me since I had my mental breakdown. I never went straight back to normal like my life was before I had this big, massive breakdown in 2011. Symptoms of depression and anxiety, depersonalization, they've kind of always been there. Just sometimes they're really mild, and other times they really crank up. I still don't get how this happens. To this day, it blows my mind, but I could be feeling really stable. No depressive symptoms, no apathy, no hopelessness, generally decent energy, pretty positive outlook, low anxiety. I can go from like a 3 or 4 week stretch of that. I can wake up one day and just be in the shit. I don't get that. I'll never get that because it'll never stop being uncomfortable. But 3.5 weeks ago on a Monday, I woke up and I just felt terrible. Terrible. Really hungover feeling, and no, I didn't drink or use any drugs, but that's sort of one of the ways that my depression manifests itself. So I woke up feeling really down, really heavy, really foggy, and deeply obsessive. I've always had a problem with negative, dark rumination. I got a problem with self-shaming, got a problem with self-acceptance, like a lot of us do, because mental health issues, they really do skew your perception of things. So I had that happen last Monday, or three weeks ago on a Monday, and I just told myself, no worries, no. You'll write it out. I did my positive self-talk, and I tried to up the things like self-care that I know are beneficial, but it hasn't gotten better. So the whole last 3.5 weeks have really strongly consisted of suicidal thoughts, deep obsession over various things that I can't control. They can be really small, trivial things, or they can be things like world hunger and what do we do, and why is the world such a bad place? Weird stuff that is too big for me to solve, but I just deeply obsess and I almost panic over it. And then my energy has been down. I've had a lot of dread in my bed, laying in bed at night, afraid to fall asleep, struggling to fall asleep, spinning, anxious, and then waking up and instantly picking up my obsessive thoughts and just hopeless thoughts and dark spinning feelings, lots of anxiety. This happens. I don't want to spend too much time talking about how low I have felt. I'm going to be okay. And like I said, I don't share this because I need you to fix me. I don't need you to fix me. I'm just someone who struggles with depression and anxiety sometimes. I used to severely struggle with it, and the symptoms, they come up. And I think the purpose of sharing this with you and sharing with you the fact that it's been 3.5 weeks of this is I just want you to know that it scares me every single time. And I get nervous. And I get afraid, and I'm in pain, and it doesn't get less painful, but I know better, and I think it's important to say that. I know better. I know that if I keep doing the things that I've been doing to maintain positive mental health, if I reach out to my support system, if I stay vulnerable and honest with you guys, if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other, control the things I can, and do whatever I can to not make things worse, I know I will come out of this. I cycle this way. And it's hard to accept, but it's familiar enough to know that it'll pass. And so if there's a lesson here, a lesson that I have to repeat to myself, it's that these mood swings happen. And I don't always need to have a deep, explicit explanation. I've always been one of those people, super neurotic. I'm like, why? Like, I want to know. Because I thought I was doing all these things that should keep this from happening, but sometimes they just happen. And that's the part of depression, that's the part of anxiety so many people don't understand. And it builds towards the stigma that people think there has to be a direct causation for something like this. And I've learned from my experience and from meeting so many people with mood disorders that's not always the case. So, you know, I am thinking about suicide, but I'm not going to commit suicide. I'm going to choose not to every single day. And I am feeling apathetic and scared to get out of bed in the morning and just horribly overwhelmed by my day. But it's going to get better, and I'm going to keep going through my day and stick to my schedule and my structure anyway. I'm going to do all the things that are suggested, even though they're not specifically working to relieve anything right this minute, because they have a compounding effect. Do you get the drift? Do you see what I'm trying to say? You just keep going. I'm not going to get into self-destructive behavior. I'm not going to believe the crazy up here. I don't trust me when I'm like this, and I just want you to know that you shouldn't trust you either when you get like this. It'll pass. You make the big picture decisions when you're feeling stable, and you hang in there when you're not. And it doesn't matter how long you've dealt with mood disorder or how many times you've seen it happen. You need to really take yourself seriously and be gentle towards yourself when it does happen. I need to accept support. I need to realize I'm human. I need to realize that I'm absolutely worthy of support and love, and I need to try to be of service to other people. So that's why I made this video, and I really look forward to telling you guys that this mood swing passed. It's been about 3.5 weeks, and hopefully soon, hopefully soon, because it's very exhausting to crash like this, and I've just got such an awesome life to enjoy. That's sort of on hold, but I'm going to go through the motions and try to stay grateful and just keep doing the little things. And if you're suffering right now, I'm so incredibly sorry. You know, I try to never get too far removed from the people that are in this shit, because as stable of stretches as I've been getting over the last couple of years in the grand scheme of things, you know, as much improvement as I've made, I'm forever scarred by what's happened to me, and I'm obviously still very sensitive, mentally speaking, no matter how many defenses I put up. I know how painful it is, and if it weren't barely bearable, it would be unbearable. You know, it's insidious. It's crazy what can happen up here and how uncomfortable it can be, but what we can do in spite of it. So be brave, be strong, be mindful of the fact that even if it feels hopeless, it doesn't make it so, and just know that I care and I got your back. However I can on this platform, whatever that means to you, I'm here for you. And if I could scoop you up and give you a big hug and tell you that I believe that you can get through this, that we can get through it, I would. But it's just you and me on a screen right now, so a metaphorical hug is going to have to suffice. We'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to stay brave, because the shit's scary when you feel this dark. I'm going to push through it, and I'm just sorry if you're hurting. And if you're not hurting, hey, good for you. It's the holidays. I would have preferred to have not had this skid, but I control the things I can, and this is life on life's terms. I'm going to trust. I'm going to choose to trust and have faith as opposed to believe the mess up here. I hope you do the same. We'll see you guys in the next video, and I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I sincerely appreciate you being here. Peace.